Coming up on AC 24/7, maybe the most watched and orchestrated arraignment in history, what we're learning about the charges former President Trump is facing and what he said in court. Plus, the pricey price Tesla is paying for a discrimination lawsuit filed by Tesla's black workers. And a new report from the medical examiner's office and the death of Virginia man whose brutal detainment at a mental hospital led to 10 arrests. We'll tell you what it says and how the family's legal team is responding. Hey there, welcome to AC 24/7. I'm your host, Lamar Baldwin. The historic surrender, arrest, and arraignment of former President Donald Trump is playing out in New York City, and all of it with new lawyer named to join Trump's defense team Monday afternoon. Attorney Todd Blanche previously represented Trump's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, Igor Fruman, and former Rudy Giuliani associate who was a key figure in Trump's first impeachment trial. The New York judge denied a request by several media organizations, keeping TV cameras out of the courtroom, allowing 5 photographers to snap some stills just before the arraignment got underway. Mike Valerio is in New York City with the latest developments and what's ahead now that the grand jury indictment has been unsealed.
Former President Donald Trump is expected to spend Monday evening back in Trump Tower, strategizing with his legal team ahead of Tuesday's voluntary surrender and arraignment.
He's taken into custody with his Secret Service detail in tow. He will be booked, so he'll be fingerprinted. He'll get a NICID number, which is the New York State tracker that shows you've been arrested and charged with a felony.
Trump's defense team is clear on its planned response.
We will very loudly and proudly say not guilty. I very much anticipate a motion to dismiss coming because there's no law that fits this.
And once the indictment is unsealed,
The team will look at every potential issue that we will be able to challenge, and we will challenge it.
On his media platform, Truth Social, overnight, Trump continued the drumbeat of the unproven claim that the case judge, quote, hates him.
What we have to do is actually let the process play out. This is the criminal justice system in America. When it's at its best, justice is blind. That's the aspiration here.
New York City leaders say there have been no specific credible security threats so far.
While there may be some rabble-rousers thinking about coming to our city tomorrow, our message is clear and simple. Control yourselves.
Violence and destruction are not part of legitimate, lawful expression, and it will never be tolerated in our city.
In New York, I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
The former president has plans to meet with supporters and allies in the ballroom at Mar-a-Lago Tuesday evening. President Biden is said to not be focusing on the indictment of former President Trump, carrying on instead with other important business of the day, according to White House press secretary. There's a little bit of bouncing back and forth going on in the sports world after First Lady Joe Biden suggested that both teams involved in the NCAA Women's Championship game be invited to the White House, both the winners and the losers. The invite is usually reserved for only the winners of the sports tournament. LSU defeated Iowa 102-85, earning them the first national championship title in the program history. LSU forward Angel Reese called the suggestion a joke and tweeted that they wouldn't be going to the White House at all. Other teammates joked about getting an invite from former First Lady Michelle Obama. Caitlin Clark, Iowa's star player, even chimed in saying that's not right and adding that she'd like to go to the White House on different terms. President Biden, who officially sends the invite, tweeted that he looks forward to inviting LSU to the White House along with the men's championship, UConn. A jury has ordered Tesla to pay $3 million to a former employee in racial discrimination suit. Owen Diaz, an elevator operator at the assembly plant in California, says he regularly heard racial slurs on the factory floor. He also claims he was subjected to racially insensitive cartoons and racist graffiti. The first jury awarded him $137 million, but a judge threw out the ruling, calling it excessive. The California Department of Fair Employment and Housing is also suing after the agency had received hundreds of complaints from workers alleging racism and harassment. The death of Ervo Otinio has been ruled a homicide. Virginia's chief medical examiner says the 28-year-old died by asphyxiation. 7 sheriff's deputies and 3 hospital workers are charged with second-degree murder in Otinio's death. Family attorney Ben Crump said, quote, "We cannot continue to treat the mentally ill with such brutality." Black investors are making history in Utah as they plan to open up the state's first and the Mountain West's only black bank. Redemption Holding Company announced a purchase agreement with the Holiday Bank Trust pending federal regulatory approval. Redemption Holding aims to reverse the trend in black banks closing, decreasing from 50 in 1976 to just 16 in 2022. Bell and King previously co-founded the National Black Bank Foundation, which has garnered $600 million worth of investment opportunities for black banks since 2020. Google is testing a new Google Flight feature that could ease some of the travelers' buyer's remorse. What the new feature will do? Go to Google Flights and type in anywhere you want to travel. Find the trip that works best for you and book it. Google then monitors the price every day until departure. If the fare goes down, you'll get the difference back via Google Pay. The pilot program only applies to travel that departs from within the US and if you booked it on Google. Gas prices are slowly rising as temperatures get hotter and hotter. But prices could change again as OPEC Plus announced unexpected cuts to oil output. The Advocate Channel's Melissa Rainey reports.
On Monday, oil prices suddenly spiked after a shocking announcement by OPEC Plus and its allies saying they would cut output. The group of oil-producing countries and allies will cut production by more than 1.66 million barrels a day, starting in May through the end of the year, according to a Goldman Sachs analysis. With oil prices already rising, this impact could soon be felt by Americans at the pump. On Monday, the national average for a tank of regular gas came in at just under $3.51 a gallon, according to AAA.
Whenever we see crude oil rise, 9 times out of 10, we're going to see an increase in gas prices. That can be anywhere between 3 cents to 10 cents.
So what does this mean for those planning to gas up and hit the road this spring break and summer?
It's about gassing up and monitoring what your gas prices are going to be along your road trip, depending on where you're going.
Many Americans are hitting the roads to beaches in the South like Georgia and Florida and on the East Coast, according to AAA spokesperson Montre Waiters. She predicts there's going to be an even bigger uptick in summer travel and offers a unique tip on having better gas mileage.
Get the junk out of your trunk. So the heavier your car is, the more it burns gas. I know when you're traveling, you can't help that, but try and pack smart.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Melissa Rainey.
According to the Internal Revenue Service, only 80 million Americans have filed their 2022 returns, and many are seeing less on their tax refund. The government has issued about $172 billion in refunds, which is about 9% less than last time this year. The average refund also dropped about $3,200 to about $2,900. One reason for the decrease? Pandemic-era provisions. According to the IRS, about 59 million people have gotten a refund this year, which is about 3% more than last year. Tax day for the U.S. is April 18th. Fast food chains might be in for a menu change as the demand for small chicken rises. Restaurants like Chick-fil-A and Popeyes use the rare birds compared to the bigger counterparts due to more tenderness and flavor profile. According to U.S. agriculture data, the number of small chickens slaughtered weekly is down from nearly 30% to 15%. The cost of small chicken boneless breasts has remained high since January 2021. Thank you for joining us for AC 24/7. For more content that advocates to you, go to advocatechannel.com and make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. For the Advocate Channel, I'm Lamont Baldwin.